So welcome, friends, today. It's a wonderful, gray, rainy morning yet again, but a perfect day to wander around in your backyard and find pretty foliage and various opportunities of things from which to make something to hang on your front door. I don't know if you've all read Nathan's wonderful introduction to Palm Sunday, but he mentions at the end of it that many people around the world use different kinds of branches than palm branches because palm branches don't grow everywhere, as we all know. Several years ago, I was at the Vatican and they use olive branches, and there were olive branches everywhere. And I thought, isn't that just perfect? Because olive branches sort of, for me, say peace to them. So anyway, today we're using what New Hampshire has to offer. And I've taken a walk in the woods, and I've taken a walk through my backyard. And I'm going to show you as quickly as possible how to put something together to hang on your front door to celebrate the up and coming Palm Sunday, which we are unable to do as a community in our own church. So for starters, all you need are a few things. Greens in your backyard. You can use any kind of twine or string that you have. That works wonderfully. If you happen to be a really old retired wedding florist, you might have a few pipe cleaners left around. They're fabulous. They take the pollen off your clothes from lilies, but more important, they're great for tying in a tight little knot. They've got wire and they really hold things well. Best of all is wire. And this wire is what I'm going to be using because it's wrapped with paper, which is, you have to go to a florist to get it, but it's the easiest wire to use. So let me get started so we don't spend too much time on this. When you're making a swag for your front door or for anywhere, it's probably the best to start with the biggest material on the bottom and you stack it. It's like making a flat pyramid. So you start with the long pieces and you get, as you add on the front, they get shorter and shorter. That being said, I happen to love this plant called leucothoe. Who cares what its name is, but it's variegated. It has lovely curves to it, and it grows really long and graceful. So this is going to be my first piece, and I'm going to, I don't know where I've left my clippers, but anyway, scissors will work. Cut it off so that it's not as long as my whole front door, and I'm going to add a couple of other pieces behind it, so that it has a nice curve. I've got to make this backwards, don't I? Here you go, so that it has a nice curve. I also like twigs. You know, there's something magnificent about how a tree produces its branches and its twigs. And we can't do it. We can grow stuff, but we can't do this production of twigs and lovely texture. So I'm adding twigs to this to give it a little depth. So here is one of these twigs that I found in the woods. It will have leaves on it if I leave it in the water any minute now, but it doesn't at the moment. So I'm going to rest my foliage sitting here in this kind of cradle of twigs. Yeah, exactly like that. And I have another one here, and I'm going to add this one also. I'm putting this one in the front. So you can see I'm beginning to layer. Things are going in different directions and they're layering down. Because you want to have a little variety, it's nice to have different kinds of greens. So I've got this green from my backyard, and you see how solid it is? It's not variegated like this. So this is going to go over here. Always use the curve that God gives you because we can't curve things. So this nice plant had one going right. Here's the other one going. So this one's going to go over on this side. And then we're going to add, let's see, everybody, somewhere there's rhododendron in people's lives, or rhododendrons, as people like to call it. That adds a really nice chunk of green in the back. And then I'm going to add a couple of more plants. This is very pretty Andromeda that has little pink flowers in it. I'm going to put that at the top, and then I'm going to add this plant right here, which I was told wouldn't grow in New Hampshire, but it seems to be thriving in my backyard. I decided to give it a try. So there is that. Now, you can add as much as you want. You can keep going. You can make it huge. It's all up to you. There's nobody judging these. This is for sheer joy of enjoying nature getting outside and making something to honor Palm Sunday in a way that we haven't ever done before, I don't think, up here. So here we go. This is it. Don't waste your flowers in the back. You can pull them around to the front. We can stick, how are we doing here? No, this one, we're going to stick that up in the middle, give it a little bit of that. Now it's time for the wire. So where did my wire go? Oh, here, cut another piece. This, you can use, again, this is where you use wire, or you can use twine. If you have thin wire, it really is easier, but it doesn't matter. Anything will do. So here we go. Lay it down, tie a nice little tight knot, which you can't see, but that's what I'm doing right now. There you go. So the pieces of wire that are left back here are going to become your hook. We'll tie them and make them smaller, and they're going to be the hook on the back of the door. And last but not least, sorry, just hit my keyboard. Here we go. Should you choose to tie something around it at the very top, raffia is always a winner. Not everybody has raffia, so you use whatever you use. There's ribbon. You can make lots and lots of pieces of string together and kind of make a fake raffia. And you just tie it tight, and then you make 2 loops. It's 2 separate pieces. Here you go. There's 1 loop like that. And you just tie it on. And in a minute, you can see how long this took. Of course, it doesn't include walking around a little bit, but in these days, everybody's walking. So hallelujah, what a great thing to be able to do. And you tie a nice tight knot. And there you have your swag for your front door to celebrate Palm Sunday and let everybody know that we're filled with hope and we're filled with love and we're looking forward to the resurrection on Easter. God bless everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.